What's going on and what's shaking, Chewy Nation? Welcome back to another ChewbaccaLemma video. Today, you can tell from the title and the thumbnail that we are talking about a new thing that was added to Madden 21. At least that's what we're being told, and that is adaptive AI. Before I go into this and my thoughts, let me know down below what you think of this new addition. Of course, we don't know much besides just a little one-sentence description, really, of what it is, but let me know what you think of it, and then I will be glad to have that discussion in the comments. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So they have this line that says, diversify your play calling to outsmart adaptive AI, there it is, adjustments that counter your tendencies in new ways. I'll leave a link to the gridiron notes down below as well. Now, what exactly does this mean? I have been calling for not adaptive AI. I think the user should just have more control. So instead of just the CPU doing what, being superhuman and being able to do everything by itself and not even needing you to play defense, I would like it to be, I can call on defense. I can say, this is going to be a stretch to the right, or this is going to be a stretch to the left, or maybe even just a stretch in general to make sure to stay outside, keep your containment, and and be able to play it better. I like that idea of the user having more control and the game not playing itself, but I do think this is a step in the right direction for just hopefully the CPU being a little bit smarter. But again, I would have liked that to be a little bit more in the user's hands. But that is interesting to see exactly how is this going to work. Is it going to be something like if I run stretch over and over and over again, I'm assuming that's not going to work, or it shouldn't work as well. But what if I'm running man up 3 deep and I'm just like, I'll give it to you once, but you can't run. If you try it again, it's going to, my guys are just going to, go all out, look like they're on steroids and be way faster and just, I don't know exactly what is that going to do. If I run terrible run defense, is it going to work? Or will, that still be able to beat my defense? Something to think about, and I'm worried that it may go a little too far where you can play not great defense and the CPU will bail you out. Now, what if you go stretch and then dive, stretch and dive, stretch and dive, back to back? Does there any sort of that? Is there no longer adaptive AI? Do they not realize that you just keep doing a pattern of stretch, dive, stretch, dive, stretch, dive, stretch, dive? Or is it just as long as you don't run the same play over and over again? It does say counter your tendencies in new ways, so it makes me think it's not just something that you run the same play over and over and over again, and maybe more if you run the same play multiple times in this series of plays, that the CPU will play better overall. I do know that something like this is in Madden Mobile. I believe it's in Madden Mobile. I personally have never played it, so I don't exactly know how that works, but I don't think it's simply just you run the same play over and over again, but I could be wrong. So that's definitely my concern. Is it actually, is it something that is it going to be too far? I think a lot of the competitive players I've talked to, people that play it more seriously, have never really been on board with adaptive AI because it takes the control out of the offense. You run the same play over and over again because the defense stays in the same defense. They're running, nickel normal, whatever, or big dime 146, that's probably a better one. Big dime 146 every single play. So I run dive every single play and I just gash them over and over and over again, and they won't get out of big dime 146. They refuse to get out of it. Is that my fault because I keep running dive, or is it their fault because they will not change their defense? I'm not changing my offense, but they're also not changing their defense. So if they run 146, the same play over and over again, if I run the dive, is it just going to destroy it? Or is it more, against the offense? Is it more countering the offense? Again, does it go both ways? Well, 146, you might scream off the edge one play, but the next time your offensive line is going to be smarter and be able to pick it up much better. I do worry, again, if it's more focused on, because it is so, this whole idea of adaptive AI has been pushed so much from the community. And whenever you watch if you ever watch any Twitch events or in the Twitch chat for EA, it's always talking about adaptive AI. I see it a lot. And it seems like it's more focused on the offense. Why the offense running the same play over and over and over again, stretch and dive mostly, or roll out corners, or whatever the case may be. It's not really talked about what about the defense. What if the defense keeps doing the same blitz over and over and over again? Is your offense going to be smarter? Your offensive line will be able to pick it up? Again, I personally think they just need to give the user a little bit more control and say, if you know exactly which 5 guys are blitzing, why can't I just identify those 5 blitzers? I don't need the CPU to be some, genius mega mind people. I don't need it. I just need to be able to have the control to say, okay, these guys are blitzing, or these 2 guys are blitzing off the edge. So my left tackle and right tackle, you need to kind of flesh yourselves out a little bit, and then the guards will pick up the ends, and the center will get the nose tackle on 1-4-6, and you have the blocking. I mean that seems like something you would be able to do, and hopefully in the future it's something like that. Maybe this is what they do. They just have the AI, so the adaptive AI, so you have to run several different blitzes throughout the game, which again is not terrible. I just think that's more just the game playing itself than you're playing it. There's not sort of the strategy aspect to it. If I say these 5 guys are blitzing and you end up sending 6, does the guy scream even if I block 6? Or block, how exactly does that work? When do ratings come into play? There's so many questions to be asked when you do something like that. But I would be interested to see just again more control from the offense, and same with the defense. Of course, I don't think you should be able to stay in the same play over and over again. And it's usually not too big a deal, because I personally will tell you, I run nickel normal most of the time, and I come out in Tampa 2, and I make adjustments out of Tampa 2, but I could do the same thing out of cover 3, or cover 2 man, or whatever the case may be. You can do the adjustments out of any play, so I don't really know how they would say punish the defense for running the same play over and over again, and I honestly think that that's probably not the way they go, but they could. If you might have to switch it up. You may not be able to run nickel normal or Tampa 2. You have to switch it to cover 3 and cover 2 man and all that, which is a little bit frustrating because you have to learn adjustments. You have to where your guys are already at. You just gotta. When I come out in Tampa 2, I do it because, one, you see the previous play, so you think I'm just running Tampa 2 every single play, but also because I know all my adjustments, all my buttons, everywhere where everybody is, so it makes it really quick where I can, man people up, put quarters, put deep thirds, or, whatever the case may be, blitz guys, whatever I need to do, I can do it right out of just Tampa 2, which I like. Again, that's just my thoughts on that. So I want to know what you guys think. I think that's pretty much, I think I covered it about as much as I can. I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Most of the guys I've talked to have mostly been against it, have been a little resistant to adaptive AI. But I'm more of a competitive, sort of casual. I'm kind of in the middle. I did make a live event in Madden 20, but I would never have considered myself one of the best 150 people in the world. Consider myself a little bit lucky, and I played well for a week, But I'm decent. I was decent at the game, but I also never really took it too seriously to play Weekend League every weekend, or lab up a bunch of stuff to try to grind these live events. So I personally am I'm open to new stuff. I don't personally think the gameplay was very good in Madden 20. So if this is something that opens up to a new something that may just make the game more fun, make you have to be a little bit more creative on offense, I think that's good. Even if it does feel like the CPU is way too good, I'm open to at least trying to manipulate the CPU in different ways throughout a game, so not every single game feels exactly the same, which is, I think that's where we're at right now, which is unfortunate. But again, that's my thoughts on Madden 20. Can do a video on that in the future, but that's all I got. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Of course, I'd love to have this conversation with you guys. Love discussing the game and your thoughts, and see where you guys are at with the game and this adaptive AI stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. This is something that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. So if you did enjoy, a like would be appreciated. If you found this completely useless, go ahead and dislike the video. You guys are great. Consider hitting subscribe. If you're new, that's all I got. ChewbaccaLemma.